So for Competency 6 specifically states intern engages with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. So basically from what I get when I hear that competency is that it's a mix of micro, meso, and macro practice. So micro being individuals, meso being families and groups, and then macro being communities. Due to the circumstances with the pandemic, I've not been able to have that much experience of accomplishing this competency. However, when I attend weekly Zoom meetings with my field instructor every Tuesday, we'll review, some cases and go over like a client situation as well as, what their condition is and what kind of stuff that they want to have included in their individual plan for employment. And then we try to contact them and try to build rapport from that, as well as update their case in the electronic case management system. So by sitting in on my field instructor and hearing her communicate with clients through the telephone, I feel like that has helped me a lot become more comfortable with the idea of communicating on a micro level. And then on a meso and macro level, one of the things that I did that counted as field hours was I volunteered to help pass food for the nonprofit Feeding America. And so me and a few other MSW students, we went to Lampkin Park with Dr. Warfel, and we helped stuffed boxes with specific food, as well as some food included like dry foods like cereal, or frozen foods like meat and all of that, and cheese. And cars would pull in front of the area where we would be passing out food, and then they'd give us a slip of the food that they wanted to request, and then we would load up their car and then they would leave. So that was pretty fun. And then another thing too is that I'm also helping with Phi Alpha, and one of our service projects that we're doing for Phi Alpha is putting together food packages for Hotel Inc., which is an organization that works with the homeless. But also, even when meeting with my field instructor and listening in on her communicating with clients while she's trying to update their case file and uploading it onto the electronic system, it's really helped me build more confidence with my new job that I started this past week, which is I'm currently a contact tracer for the Allen County Health Department. And so basically what I'm doing there is I'm calling individuals that have been assigned to me and talk to them, explaining to them we were informed that you had been tested positive for COVID, or actually let me rephrase that. I call a contact and I explain to them we received your name after we learned that you had been exposed to COVID by being around someone who tested positive for COVID, and so it is our best interest to make sure that you're practicing healthy matters in order to catch COVID. So we recommend that you go under quarantine, and then your last day of quarantine is this date. And going forward, I want to ask you some specific questions to your particular case. And so some stuff includes like demographics, health information, such as do they have like any health concerns or chronic illnesses, things like that, as well as do you need any type of services such as food deliveries, meal deliveries, childcare, things like that. And then before I end an interview with a contact, I explain to them I'll be checking in with you daily just to see how you're doing, and and seeing if you have been experiencing any symptoms of COVID, things like that. And so with that, I'd like to say that my field placement and my new job, they're very, very similar, but they're both different due to the fact that with my field placement, I'm working with the visually impaired, whereas my new job, I'm working with people who have been exposed to COVID. However, they're both the same, considering that I'm providing social services and I'm trying to help them meet their needs, whether it's help them reach their employment goals or help them ensure that they don't catch COVID and they're doing their part when it comes to staying in quarantine. And so with that as well, another thing too is that another thing that I've learned too is with my field placement, my field instructor has recommended a lot of online trainings for me to listen to. And so most of the trainings include like how to deal with an ethical dilemma with a client who's visually impaired, or the do's and don'ts of how to interact with a client who's visually impaired, the type of resources that a client who's visually impaired would want to take advantage of, such as like assistive technology, things like that. And so even though my placement has primarily been remote this entire semester, I would like to say that the stuff that I'm learning weekly with my field instructor, even though we meet for 1 hour, I'd like to say that it has helped me become a little more prepared for my new job. And I feel like too, my field instructor has helped me see what a lot of my students what a lot of my classmates have told me, saying, you do have good leadership skills and you do have the qualities of being a leader. It's just you should learn to cut yourself some slack, and you should understand, you should work on being more confident. And I feel like, my field instructor has really put me out there with building more confidence as I've been continuing to shadow her and listen in on her conversations whenever she's working with a client. And as far as self-care, I would like to say that this new job that I have right now, it's really helped me with a self-care relating to actually having a routine, because with everything going on with the pandemic, structure has been something that I completely lacked since the beginning of March, mainly because I never had a reason to go out unless I wanted to go outside for a walk, or I had to stay inside and take care of myself when it came to making sure I didn't get exposed to the virus or anything. And plus, a lot of my friends were moved back home due to the circumstances. But with this job specifically, it's helped me build a routine where I'm learning to get used to getting up at 6 a.m. again and leaving early for work and making sure that I go to work on time, especially since Allen County is 30 minutes away from where I live. But having a routine and structure in my life is really something that's useful when it comes to me planning out, like, I've got this going on today, and then this is what I should get done, and then this is probably around the time that I should be done with everything I need to get done today. And then I'll have a lot more free time to do other things. And another thing too for self-care that I found very nice is to try to get all my homework submitted before Sunday, and usually just have Sunday as my day of if I want to sleep in, or if I want to just sit down one evening and watch a movie, I can do that without having to worry like a discussion board that's due at midnight, or a last minute assignment that I need to get done before midnight, things like that. And due to having Sunday as my free day, it has been extremely, extremely beneficial. So that's all I can really think about with self-care. And I think overall, just having a routine is something that would help me tremendously with learning different self-care techniques. But also another technique that I found beneficial that I never really took to heart was meditation. And I actually practiced meditation one evening, and I had never felt more refreshed and relaxed in my entire life. And I felt like all the stress that I was carrying had melted away. And so I think I'm also going to try to learn how to meditate more frequently, as well as, maybe try to practice more yoga, and then maybe try to have like some kind of routine of like going to the gym again, because I really miss that. But other than that, I would say that with the semester coming to an end, I feel like things are slowly falling into place more than what they were when the semester first started. Thank you.